first video we showed how we picked up a wounded owl and took him with us. We started feeding him day-old chicks. After all, he is a predator and constantly requires meat. First, we placed him in a cardboard box, the bottom of which we covered with grass. Then we took a bigger box. As you understand, life in a box is probably not going to bring pleasure to anyone. Moreover, he is a bird, a growing bird. He regularly needs to spread his wings and flap them, otherwise how will he learn to fly? Therefore, the first step was to make an aviary. For this, I allocated part of the balcony, covered the window with a USB sheet so that the sun does not bake, and added a mesh door like this. The USB sheet came in handy. We screwed 2 door curtains into it. If necessary, you can easily get inside. I added a partition at the bottom so that everything that happens in the aviary remains in the aviary. There is also a tube from the air conditioner. I hope the bird won't do anything to it, since it's been raining outside for the second day already, and I can't pick any grass for the aviary. Well, I won't keep it in the box any longer. It will live as is for now. I placed a log inside, and Savianok took it up almost immediately. It's probably a more comfortable place to sit. Although you can guess from these shots that he's already been on the box. Nevertheless, the wooden nose has become a clear favorite. It's a natural material after all, and the tactile feel is closer to the nose than some cardboard. By the way, there's a problem. Savianok still doesn't have a name. I suggest you come up with one. Write your own name in the comments. The most popular comment will become Pernatov's name. I'll be honest, letting the chick out of the box before the grass appeared in the aviary was a very bad idea. Of course, he sits there, making eyes, like, it's not my fault, it's all physiology. And the rain is also to blame, since it didn't let the grass dry for 2 days. You can see everything for yourself. Now we have to wash the entire floor. One place under the stump where the little owl likes to sit is especially dirty. That's how it was. And that's how it looked after the cleaning work. If I had known that cleaning would be so difficult, it would have been better for him to live in the box for 2 days. According to the scheme we have already tested, we covered the floor with cardboard, then with regular garbage bags and a lot of grass on top. This is the nest we got. All that remains is to install logs on which the little owl could sit, feeling closer to nature. The interior is ready. It's time to let our feathered friend in. So, little owl is shocked by his new interior. He spread his wings and sits like a hen on a nest. It's probably a little unusual. The entourage is the same as in the box, only the size is bigger. There's more grass. And there are logs now. He sits in one place, making eyes. By the way, do you remember how fluffy he had on his chest when we picked him up? Now there is real plumage on the chest. And you have probably already noticed that the owl has 2 eyelids. The outer eyelids blink, like ours, and the inner ones are called nictitating membranes. They provide additional protection and moisturize the eyes, which helps maintain clear vision. This is especially important during night flights and hunting, and the owl's vision is designed in such a way that these birds see better at night than during the day. At night, an owl sees 100 times better than a person. We close the enclosure and leave the owl alone until the evening. We left him alone, but not the other birds. As soon as the enclosure was built, a swallow arrived. Did she fly in to see the chick? I don't know what kind of coincidence this is, but in my memory, no bird has ever flown onto the balcony. Judging by the reaction of the owl, he was very interested in the new guest. Nevertheless, we had to let him out. With the onset of evening, we begin feeding. Usually the first piece gets stuck in the beak for a long time. So I try to explain that if he doesn't eat it, I'll take it away. And this works as a great incentive to start eating. Another way to speed up swallowing is to show the next piece while the previous one is still in the beak. In the last video about Savianok, they asked if his bite hurt. I myself became interested in putting my finger under it. The answer is no. Claws are a much more formidable weapon. It's time to teach the feathered one the manners of a predator. Let him develop his reaction for hunting. And while the beak is busy, we'll offer him a second piece of food in his paw. Let him learn to eat not from tweezers, but as if he got the food himself. To be honest, I didn't think he'd stand in this position for 20 minutes, he even started to fall asleep. So much for a predator. But what endurance to stand on one paw for so long. Probably, the owl herself is tired of her position. When I showed him that I would take the food in my paw, he had to eat what was in his beak. Great, now eat what's in your paw. I don't know how parents teach him, but I have a hard time explaining this. Although instincts should work anyway if you want to live. Now I had the opportunity to move the little wreath from the balcony to the fresh air. I put him on a swing and a leash. More precisely, these are fetters, not a leash. To craft them, you need 2 pieces of soft but dense fabric like these. 2 cuts at the ends. By threading them through, we get a kind of loop. And so on each paw. We tie a rope to the remaining hole. And no worries that you will have to chase the bird all over the dacha. Probably, he likes this location better too. He manages to turn his head around so many interesting things. And the breeze blows through the feathers. We continue to accustom the owl to independent feeding and put pieces of meat next to him. And considering that I forgot to take tweezers for feeding, it would be better for him to show independence. But, apparently, he has already gotten used to the idea that I am his mother, so he did not dare to take the initiative for a long time. Or maybe the bird is not hungry. The piece of meat was in the beak for a very long time. And then it happened. The cat came to the smell of garlic, which was drying nearby. The owl was clearly interested in the uninvited guest. Apparently, he understands that this creature is much more dangerous than a person. When the bird realized that he was discovered, he immediately ate the treat so as not to share. Or maybe he freed his beak just in case he had to defend himself. After all, a cat is a predator, and every bird is potential prey. In addition, we do not know who exactly damaged the owl's wing. It is quite possible that he met such an animal before and has bad memories. In order not to traumatize the psyche, I asked the cat to leave. She left, another came. What kind of evening commotion is this? Before the chick had time to recover from the shock, a hedgehog arrived. What kind of zoo is this? Have you never seen an owl? And he walks so confidently. A hedgehog, a cat, and
owlet.
And bread, and
incredible coincidence. It was already dark outside. The chick was still waiting for me to feed him. He stubbornly refused to take food on his own. To keep him from going hungry, I had to continue to play the role of his parent and feed him by hand. Several times I tried to leave him alone with food, but he still wouldn't eat without me. If we had doubts before, then after a month it became obvious that our feathered one was a long-eared owl chick. Not with a bun and certainly not an owl. Look how he has grown up. Finally, white fluff has appeared on the muzzle, the signature feature of all owls. A real predator is growing up, who is already ready to hunt for a finger. As he grows older, we increasingly walk our chick outside, as he is now sitting on a stump and looking around, fascinated by everything that is happening. And although he cannot fly yet, his attachment to the stump is still noticeable. Here he jumped off the stump and spread his wings threateningly. He looks like an airplane standing on the runway. Probably wants to seem big. Like, look how big and dangerous I am. Dangerous, yes, but the food will not be scared of this and will not climb into his mouth itself. Even after spending a lot of time on the grass, the bird did not try to find at least something tasty from insects among the greenery. But insects in the wild are part of his diet. It is probably too early to expect him to get food. First, we need to learn to at least tear food with our beak and claws, because now we don't even understand what to do. But we still have to go through this path. That's all for today. Bye. Bye-bye.